The creation of the world, the fall of man, and his purpose. God created all things visible and invisible out of love, so that other beings glorifying him might be participants of his goodness. God created the world by his thought, by his will, by his word or command. He created the invisible world of the angelic order who serve God, fulfill his providential will, and glorify him. Angels were not made as slaves and possessed the freedom of all rational creatures. Due to this, some of the angels fell away from God out of pride, led by Lucifer, the devil. From henceforth evil entered the world as a consequence of the fall of these angels. God also created the visible world, the universe, and all that dwells therein out of nothing, and his creation was good. It was perfect. Finally, God created man, Adam, who was the principle of God's creation, for only mankind among all the creatures was made in the image and likeness of God, and who could unite the visible and invisible worlds. God breathed the grace of the Holy Spirit into man and made him, the fruit of his love. Man was created with the purpose to become partakers of God's divine riches. He was made to rule over the rest of creation because of his likeness to the King of the universe. Like the angels, man was given the free will to choose to abide in complete communion with God in paradise, being nourished with spiritual things. However, man misused his freedom, transgressing the one commandment of God by seeking out the pleasures of his bodily senses through the temptation of the fallen angel, the devil, who was envious of mankind. At that moment, often known as the original sin, man became subject to sickness, death, would be predisposed to sin, and a captive of the devil, a condition all humanity would be subject to henceforth. So ultimately man lost the original fullness of the image of likeness of God, who he was created with. But at the same time, God announced the glad tidings of the rising of Christ to save mankind from this tragic fall. God would give the law as a help to guide man, which is broken oft times, until the fullness of time when Christ, the Messiah, would be fully revealed at his incarnation. Through his redemptive work and the defeat of death, man would once again be able to unite himself to God and again acquire the likeness of God by his grace. Man could once again become partakers of his divine riches and dwell eternally in paradise, the kingdom of heaven. This dynamic process known as theosis or deification takes a lifetime of cooperation with God. Thus, this is man's purpose in life, to become like God once again.